A warm welcome to everyone in Techno School. Friends, myself Paresh Rajlal Safaria. Today we will learn about how to play chess and complete chess rules. Chessboard is made up of 64 blocks or squares, alternate white or light and black or dark color squares. There are 8 rows and 8 columns. Columns are vertical, identifies as a to H. Rows are horizontal, identifies as 1 to 8. Vertical columns are also called files. Horizontal rows are also called ranks. Column A, B, C are called queen side flank region. Column F, G, H are called king side flank region. Column D and E are called central region. Lay out the board with the light square or white square in the bottom right corner as shown. White or light color king in black or dark color square and black or dark color king in white or light color square. Identify square F5 looking from black side. Identify F5 square looking from white side. Now let us familiarize with starting initial chess piece positions on chessboard. On first row, A1 queen side rook, B1 queen side knight, C1 queen side bishop, D1 queen, E1 king, F1 king side bishop, G1 king side knight, H1 king side rook are placed. On second row, 8 pawns are placed. So there are 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 1 king, 1 queen and 8 pawns on white side. Similar placements of pieces for black side also as shown. Now let us see about how chess pieces move and capture opponent pieces. King. King moves one step in every direction, but not in square where check is existing. King can capture within his move range. Here, king can capture knight and pawn. Queen move. Chess queen moves horizontally, vertically or diagonally to any number of cells. Obstructing queen move. Here queen cannot move further due to bishop and pawn. Queen capture. Here queen can capture bishop, 2 knights and rook as shown. Rook move. Rook moves horizontally or vertically through any number of unoccupied squares. Obstructing rook move. Here a rook cannot go further due to pawn. Rook capture. Here rook can capture pawn and knight. Bishop move. Bishops can move both forward and backward diagonally across any number of squares all through the chessboard. Here you can see king bishop and queen bishop moves. Obstructing bishop move. Here bishop cannot move further due to pawn. Bishop capture. Here bishop can capture two pawns, rook and knight. Knight move. Knight either moves up or down one square vertically and over two squares horizontally, or up or down two squares vertically and over one square horizontally. This movement can be remembered as L shape. Here you can see all possible moves for knight. Total 8 positions. Knight move cannot be obstructed. Here white pawn and black pawn cannot obstruct any knight's move. Knight capture. Here knight can capture pawn, bishop and another pawn. Pawn move. Pawn moves forward vertically. Pawn's goal is to move to the other side of the board where it can promote into any stronger chess piece except king. First step can be moved with 2 square or 1 square. If a pawn has already been moved, it can never move 2 squares again. The pawn can only move forward 1 square if it is not blocked by another piece. Obstructing pawn move. Here, pawn cannot move forward. Pawn capture. Pawn captures 1 square forwards diagonally. Here, white pawn can capture black. Black pawn can capture white. Pawn promotion. Pawn promotion is the replacement of pawn that moves to the furthest rank with a queen, rook, bishop or knight of the same color. The new piece replaces the pawn on the promotion square on the same move. The piece chosen cannot be another king, nor can the pawn remain as a pawn. Impasse pawn move. Pawn that captures must be on its 5th rank. Pawn that will be captured must be adjacent to the capturer. Pawn that will be captured must have just moved 2 squares in a single move. Here, black can capture white pawn on immediate turn only, not after that turn. Castling move. Rules of castling. Castling occurs when a player needs to get the king out of danger and into the corner. With castling, the king moves 2 squares towards the rook. Then the rook hops over the king to the next square. Here you can see castling on king side and queen side. no castling cases. There are number of cases when castling is not permitted. When king has been moved earlier in the game, when rook that you would castle with has been moved earlier in the game, there are pieces standing between your king and rook, and no castling on check. And also when castling squares of king are on check, means the king moves through a squares that are attacked by a piece of the opponent. Check, king is on attack. What is check? King is on attack. Here, white king is on check. Checkmate. King has no option to get out from check and loses game. Here white king is in checkmate position by black's bishop and knight. Draw game rules. Perpetual checks, giving unending checks. Mutual agreement. 3 play position repetition. Here claim is required. 50-step rule. No capture of pieces and no pawn move. Here also claim is required. Insufficient pieces. King versus king, king versus king and bishop, king versus king and knight, king versus king and 2 knights, king and bishop versus king and bishop of same color. New rule. 5 play position repetition. Here no claim is required. 75-step rule. Here also no claim is required. 5 play position repetition and 75-step rule are similar to 3 play position repetition and 50-step rule, except here claim is not required. Here you can visualize insufficient pieces for checkmate. King versus king, king versus king and bishop, king versus king and 2 knights, king and bishop versus king and bishop of same color, king versus king and knight. Stalemate draw. Stalemate is a situation in the game where the player whose turn it is to move is not in check but has no legal move. The rules of chess provide that when stalemate occurs, the game ends as a draw. Here, black has no legal move, so this game ends as a draw. Clock rule. Players has to stop the clock after his move with same hand. There are 3 types of game based on timing. Bullet game. Maximum 3 minutes to each player per game. Blitz game. Maximum 5 minutes up to 10 minutes to each player per game. Rapid game. Maximum 10 minutes up to 60 minutes to each player per game. Classical game. First 40 moves in 100 minutes. Next 20 moves in 50 minutes. Remaining moves in 15 minutes. Player has to present at game location without 0 time tolerance. Handshaking with opponent before start of game. No hovering of hands on chessboard and clock. Only player whose clock is on is allowed to adjust on pieces. Time saved by player during one period is passed to his next period. Touch move. If a player deliberately touches a piece on the board when it is their turn to move, then they must move or capture that piece if it is legal to do so. If the opponent's piece was touched, it must be captured if it can be captured with a legal move. Player can adjust his pieces only during his turn of move with prior announce as adjust pieces. It is my pleasure to present this. Thank you all.